everybody!
Hello, how are you?
It's 16 and Monty.
We're back again for another episode of What the Hack.
What the heck? What the heck? And today we are going to share our favorite productivity apps. So, it's the new year. We want to be as productive as we can.
I mean, right, that's the reality, right? The more productive you are, the more successful you can become. We all have the same number of hours in each day, 24, unless you might somehow have 25 or 26 or more. If you figured that out, please let me know.
Actually, with these apps, it would seem like you have twice the extra time you used to have.
Oh my gosh, that's really creative. That is, oh my gosh.
Hi, Denise.
That's perfect. Yeah, exactly. So with the right apps, with the right tools, you can become more successful and be more productive with the time that you have available for your online business.
So there are a ton of apps there, I'm sure, that are similar to the ones we are going to talk about. But for now, we are going to focus on the ones that we've been using for the last few years since we started our online businesses that allowed us to track, to keep note of what we need to do for the day, and just
Create
generally,
fun posts.
yeah, create from posts and make things easier for us. So these are our favorites, our curated list of apps that we want to share with you. Why don't you start? You have a very good one.
My app is actually part of a family of apps from Adobe, and Adobe has been around for many, many years. They're an iconic online brand as it relates to graphic design. And I'll tell you that with the changes that have occurred in the Facebook algorithm, as it becomes a little bit more, let's say, challenging, it becomes important that you have to become more creative. You have to learn the skill set of telling a story, and you have to do that in a way that it visually looks good.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we've gone past the era where you could copy and paste just about anything and get engagement.
And you want to be more creative than Googling or searching on Pinterest for what you want to post and grabbing someone else's quotes.
Exactly. I mean, Facebook keeps an eye on that, right? I mean, if you're copying and sharing things exactly as other people have shared, especially as it relates to an online business, Facebook really doesn't like that, and they don't believe that that is part of that it's a value to the community. So let's talk about originality. And for quite a while now, I've used the Adobe Spark app, most specifically 2 of them out of the series of 3. The first one is Adobe Spark Post, and the other one is Adobe Spark Video. And video, oh my gosh, video is absolutely a priority for you this year, so I'll be using that app more than I ever have. But Adobe Spark Post is really fun and it's easy to use because they really keep things up to date. On a regular basis, they're adding new functionality and new graphic editing tools that make it easy and fun for you to create new posts and really make things look visually appealing.
And professional.
And very professional. I get comments all the time, people wondering if we hired somebody to do that. Of course, we have some people that do some of that type of work, but it's easy for us on the run to do that because I do almost all my posts, I'm working from my phone.
Yeah, so you can use it for anything, like quotes that you originally came up with, posters for anything you'd like to announce, right?
Yeah, there's very cool typography, and there is the themes. There's so many themes, and they actually offer seasonal themes. So if it's the Christmas season, it's Valentine's, it's New Year's, it's any holiday whatsoever, there's always a selection when you first open the app. First of all, it's free. That's another reason why I love the Adobe series. So as far as Adobe Post is concerned, there's just a one-time registration. It's available both for iOS and for Android platforms. So go ahead and download that today, and it will not only save your work and you can share it with other people that you're connected to, but it will offer as well themes and sample posts. There's literally hundreds. I don't know if I want to say thousands, but there's certainly many hundreds of different themes that change constantly. So there is no reason why you can't be original all the time with your posts.
So have fun with that one. Now I'm gonna go to my favorite.
Let's go.
So I really function very well in my business when I get to refer to lists. So I like making to-do lists, priority lists, goal lists, and like little check boxes, I like to write them down until I found Google Keep. So Google Keep, that's Keep, is basically a note keeping app. And I just want to show you what it looks like here. And it's super nifty because you can create something simple as notes, or you can put check boxes. So I like to put my activities for the day and just write them down. And then if I want to do a specific kind of checklist, I just tap this little thing. When you actually download this app, it's called Google Keep, these icons show up on the bottom. And if you want to do your own checklist, just tap that square, and then it'll allow you to create your own checklists. And if, let's say, I need to do content for Instagram, I'll just type that in, content for IG. If I need to do content for my Facebook fan page, I just type in content fan page. And if I'm done with those, I can just tick the box. And this is what it would look like. So you know which activities you're done with and which activities you still need to do. And it's just like a really easy way to keep track of my activities. Instead of writing them down, I get to save paper, and I'm on my phone all the time. It's super easy to use, and it's on Google. So I'm on iOS. Whether I use iOS or Android, it will sync if I switch from device to device. So all I need to do is download the app on several devices, log into the to my Google account, and all of my lists will transfer to all of those devices. Denise, do you use any apps to keep track of your spearfishing efforts? Actually, I was going to that next, Denise. So
let me share a tip that how it's changed my life. First of all, Google, of course, the apps are available on any platform, so you can access any of those, any of their apps. It changed my perspective about how frustrating it can be sometimes looking for maybe a standard response that I have to maybe a potential customer or a business partner online. And what I did with Google Keep is I actually copied some of my notes and some of my scripts in Google Keep. But I know you have another app.
I have another app for that. But let me just kind of explore Google Keep a little bit more for you. You can use it on iOS as well, even though it's a Google app. And I like lists, so naturally I've created a ton of them on my Google Keep. And there is you can color code them according to what they are. If they're grocery lists, you can color code them. If they're activities for the weekend, you can color code them. It's super fun, very intuitive, very easy to use, especially for beginners. I like this. That's why I recommend it a lot. And if there are priority lists, let's say you're traveling abroad, you need to buy some stuff, you don't want to lose that list. What you want to do is just tap on that particular list and then tap on the tack. Is that what you call it? The thumbtack?
Thumbtack.
The thumbtack. And then it will automatically go into your priority pinned lists section.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Did I get that right? So actually it's called pinned. So they're pinned lists. So you won't lose your most important list. And when you're done, guess what? You can actually just, if you want to get rid of the list, you can just swipe left and they're gone. So it's super easy.
Super easy.
Now, Denise asks, Monty, how do you use Google Keep with your Panda planner? Do you sync them both?
You know what's interesting, because I'm actually looking. Panda Planner is what I had for last year, and I've actually gone to a different type of planner for this year. But you can easily sync the lists. Within Google Keep, there's a lot of versatility. As far as Google Keep, I really ended up keeping two separate lists. One that was actually that I wrote, that I prioritized in the Panda Planner. And then I actually would replicate some of that in the Google Keep so that I would have it readily available on my phone. Panda Planner, as far as I know, does not currently have an app that will sync with that. So you've got to match the two together. And I find that Google is, the Google platform apps tend to cover most of my needs, from Google Sheets to Google Keep to Google
Calendar,
to Doc and Calendar. All of those are really helpful.
Yeah, so actually the last thing I want to point out about Google Keep is that you can also search your notes, and it's a very smart app. So if you really absolutely cannot find what you're looking for and you kind of lost it somewhere along like this whole list of lists, then you have a search box up top, and it actually categorizes. The accent
We've done
comes
too
up.
many broadcasts today.
Categorizes all of your lists. So it has books, food, movies, those categories, reminders, lists, images. It groups all of your lists together in colors,
The most common
categories, and just the type of note that you made. So you won't lose any of the lists that you made. So that's it for Google Keep.
And you got one more.
I have two more. So speaking of spearfishing efforts, spearfishing is basically direct messaging or private messaging people. I always struggle with keeping my scripts organized. And so for that, I used to use Google Keep for that. But what I found much easier to use was the Copied app. So COPIED. It's Copied app. And what it is a built-in clipboard for your keyboard. So Copied is an app for iOS. I have another app for this on Android. The best counterpart I found was SwiftKey. And what you want to do is just download it. It's free. But if you have limits with the free account, if you want unlimited number of scripts to keep there's a minimal fee that you need to pay. But basically, once you open it, what I do with my business is I tend to answer the same questions over and over again. I send inviting messages to events, inviting messages for recruiting for my business, promotional scripts for any products, and sometimes I say the same things over and over again, and I just don't want to keep typing them. So I save all of my scripts on the Copied app. And so that's the first part of it. Now, when I get into Messenger, this is the cool part. When I get into Messenger and I pick a name and I wanna send them a message, and I just don't want to type it out, right? I just tap on the message bar and I click on that icon. It's embedded in my keyboard, and there you go. Those are all of my scripts. So I can just browse through all of these scripts and look for the one that I want to send this person, and I tap it, and there you go. It's pasted into my chat box, and that's
very easy.
You know, if you want to start sending messages, in our business, we do spearfishing a lot. We look for brand affiliates. We offer them product opportunity or just product promotions. And if I'm going to send messages to about a minimum of 50 people a day, that makes it super easy for me to do. I don't have to think about it. It's all in my Copied app. So make yourself productive, do a ton of work, and just download that app.
So for any business, the reality is anything that you regularly send, if it's a website link, it's a link to a PDF, a document, whatever it might be, a video link, it can all be saved and copied. And that really is, as far as a general business tool, we love this.
Yeah, Denise, it works for Instagram and Facebook. Actually, any kind of...
Anywhere you type any message.
Anywhere you type, because it is not dependent on the platform.
Nope.
It is attached to your keyboard. And that's what I like about it versus using Google Keep for my scripts, because I don't need to get out of the app or the Messenger app to look for my scripts. It's already in my keyboard. As soon as my keyboard pops up, there's a little icon that switches over to my scripts, and I get to choose right away. So you don't need to exit any app you're typing on. So that is Copied. The last app I'm going to share for today is a content scheduling app, because that's the third thing that most people struggle with. So for that, I use Later. So the Later app is a content scheduler for Facebook and Instagram, among other platforms. It also schedules Twitter and Pinterest if you're on those. Now, I'm going to search for, excuse me, my Later app. And right now I am logged in. Let me search for it here. Okay. Logged into my New Girls account. So you can schedule posts for your personal account, your fan pages, and your groups. So right now I've just connected several of my fan pages on here. There is a free account as well, and you're gonna have to pay for, you know, certain features to be available. I think there's a limit of 2 accounts for the free one. So if you're only managing one fan page and one Instagram, then I guess that's fine. But if you're managing more than 2, then you're gonna have to pay. And again, I think it's around $11 or $12 for the paid version. But basically what it does is it's like a visual preview of your scheduled posts. So you get to see, this is particularly helpful when you're scheduling for Instagram, because Instagram is a very visual platform. It allows you to preview the posts before they even get posted. So this does not post automatically on Instagram, by the way, because Instagram has blocked any third-party app that does that. For security purposes, Instagram doesn't like that. So what Later does, it's very efficient. So when you set any post at any time, let's say I want to be posting every 12 noon every day. 12 noon every day. So I just scheduled this particular post for that, and when the clock strikes 12, I get a notification saying, 16, you've scheduled a post for 12. Would you like to post it now? And when I hit post, then Later app posts it as me. So it doesn't automatically do that for you since Instagram. So they've found a way to work around that rule of Instagram. So it's a very cool app to have. If you can pay for it, it's super worth it if you're managing more than 2, because it can get overwhelming to hop from one platform to another just to post your content. So make things easy for you and just schedule it right ahead. So what I do is every Sunday, you can sit down, take an hour or 2 to plan out your content for the week, put it all on Later, and then the Later app will just notify you when it's time to post these things.
So recap: the Copied app, the Later app,
Google Keep,
the Google Keep,
Adobe Spark Post,
and Adobe Spark, the whole Adobe Spark series. That's it.
Yay. Denise has a question. So you have fixed settings to embed in keyboard. Actually, it automatically embeds in the keyboard. As soon as the app is downloaded, the Copied app is downloaded, then it's embedded in your keyboard.
So we've got to run.
Yep, we gotta run, you
For
guys.
this episode, we'll see you in the next episode of What the Heck.
Yay. Bye, you guys.
Bye, everybody.
For any questions, especially for the replay viewers, just send them in the comments and we'll answer them by typing.
Absolutely.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.